Am I glitching now?
Am I glitching?
You were glitching.
I was glitching.
Okay. When the first time, am I glitching now? You were glitching, but then it stopped, and now you seem fine again.
Okay, now I'm not going to touch anything.
Okay.
And I should be all right.
I will only touch my beer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical of Movies and After Party. This would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening any further.
Because we've got spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and we cannot wait to share them.
Good, bad, weird, or gross.
We will pass judgment on them all.
Today, don't let death stop you. My name is Steve. I'm here with
Phil
and
John.
Today we're covering Weekend at Bernie's. This is a Phil pick. Phil, what were you thinking, man? Walk us through.
What the hell were you thinking?
Walk us through your thought process.
Okay. As I might have said in the past, and as we all know, we've covered a lot of heavy movies with some heavy subject matter. And it really gotta think. You gotta think about your brothers and sisters. Sometimes you just need to relax and have a weekend at Bernie's house. Just watch a stupid movie that's actually funny, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
There you go. Have a blast.
I would find this movie funny if I was very, very stoned. Were you stoned when you watched this?
No, I was a kid when I first watched.
Oh, well, or a kid, yeah.
Well, okay. I was a teenager when I first watched this, and I wasn't into any of that stuff yet. So it's just a really, I don't know, Steve, what your thoughts?
I like this movie. It brought me back to my youth when I watched it. When did it come out? In 89? 89. It was popular at a time in my life when I was really into movies.
So
it was fun.
How did it stand up to your nostalgia of it, right? Because it now you're an adult and you're like, is this just a stupid movie that shouldn't have existed? Or
no, it was better. It was better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You enjoyed this more watching it this time than when you were young.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So John, I take it you just think this movie is just stupid, dumb.
I laughed literally one time.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. One time in this entire movie.
Explain.
Well, I thought it was funny when he thought someone was coming in through that door and he was ready with the wood log to club this guy and he missed. I thought that was funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, John.
But,
John.
Okay, listen, I've seen the movie, so I know what's going to happen. And really, when I first saw it, it was. I thought there was a few laughs and stuff. My dad thought it was really funny.
Really? That's interesting.
Back in the day, he thought it was funny. I don't know what he would think of it today, but to me, this didn't stand up to the test of time. I thought the cheesy 80s, this was the part of the 80s that I thought didn't stand up to the test of time. I thought this really bad bromance that's going on between those two that are just it was just cheesy. The love interest was just very undeveloped, just so surface, so superficial. Everything was superficial and everything was just I don't know. I mean, it's just whatever. It is what it is, right? You gotta, like I said, I need to be stoned for this, and I don't smoke weed anymore. So that's, maybe I should start if I'm going to watch more movies like this.
Hey, don't push me. I could pick the sequel next. Just watch it. Watch what you say.
Okay. Okay. I kind of get what John's talking about. It's a little too stupid. Especially
yeah.
the romance. Man, when you brought up the romance, I was like, oh yeah, that was there's no
Awful.
reason for that to have worked.
No, none. Zero.
And it was weird when Larry was trying to help Richard get the girl, and he was actually being a really decent wingman. But then the second there was some trouble in the corporate area, he was more than willing to throw Richard right under the bus.
Under the bus, yeah.
Many times. Hey,
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the place. Yeah, it was
I
fun.
I gotta tell you, I've seen this movie. To be honest, I think I've seen this movie in pieces and never really watched the whole thing in a linear form. So just for this review, I actually sat and watched it and analyzed it, stopped and watched things. I watched how they pulled off the stunts and stuff. I am absolutely floored at the actor and how they put this together. The Terry Kisser, the actor of Bernie Lomax, and how throughout the movie, like 90% of the movie, he has to play a dead guy.
Yeah.
With that smirk and just be carried around. I know they use dummies and they probably use stuntmen and all that, but I just found that funny. And when I got into that, this reminded me of a movie I think from the olden way back, like Laurel Hardy or Charlie Chaplin. It's just stupid.
Yeah,
stuff.
it is. Yeah,
like
it's crazy stupid. Yeah.
So when you take it at that kind of point of view, it's so funny to me. Like,
there was parts where I laughed out loud, but I reacted strongly to it, but I don't think it was meant to be a strong reaction. Because they were walking through New York towards the beginning of the movie, and somebody tries to rob them. They pull out a gun and they say, "Give me all your money!" And Larry comes along and he pushes him and he says, "It's too hot.
Yeah,
it's too hot. It's too hot. Fuck off. It's too hot." Right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. But
was
I've
funny.
never actually been to New York.
No.
And then there was one scene that I laughed and laughed and laughed. They ran to catch the ferry. They ran and they were running and they were really booking it.
Yeah.
They were trying to catch the ferry and they jumped from the dock onto the moving boat. And they're like,
arriving.
We made it.
Yeah.
And then the boat was arriving, not leaving. And it's just, what kind of director or writer would think of that?
Yeah.
It's just, that's brilliant.
It's like, come on, by all means, it's not a classic. This movie is pretty trashy and pretty terrible. But I have a guilty pleasure for certain movies like this, when, like I said in the past, it's like SCTV, it's like Saturday Night Live, it's these dumb sketches that are made into a movie. Like they're blown up into. What if we took a dead guy and he just we make him look like he's live to people throughout the movie, and it's just like all the people.
So do you think okay?
It's ridiculous, but
if I hear you though, there's a level of, probably for both you guys, there's a level of nostalgia going on here, right? Like you gave some homage to like SCTV and Saturday Night Live and stuff like that, and does that comedy, that brand of comedy, stand up to the millennials or Generation Z today?
No,
right? Does it
not? I don't know.
Okay, so Steve's nodding his head, and you're saying probably not.
Maybe in the TikTok universe, this kind of movie should be remade. Like there's so many little clips in this movie that are funny that could be something. Like, how about that party when they're all hanging out and they're just sitting on that couch and they make him act like he's alive? It's like a puppet. It's just funny stuff all over the place.
For me, it was all about the little things, like
little stuff.
When they're ready to call the cops, and even Larry's like, yeah, okay, holy shit, and then this party erupts around them.
Yeah.
And everybody nobody realizes that Bernie is dead. And I thought that just like magical moments like that, I loved it.
Oh, you know what, Steve and John, to John's point,
Yeah.
by the end of the movie, I thought it went too far. It was getting really, for my liking, too ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
But I have to mention, there's that one last scene after they get the bad guy who went insane from trying to be the hitman, trying to kill Bernie. There's a scene where they're like wrapping up the scene and they're trying to load the body into the ambulance. They lose control of the Bernie on the stretcher. He rolls onto the beach. He lands in such a way, and like they look behind him. He's back. It's like, I have the picture. I'm gonna pull
That's
it.
the end of the movie. That's like the end of the movie, right? The very last scene. Yeah.
That's
yes.
right. That's
Here
right.
it is. There you go. I'll move.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Wow. That was
I thought that was the most hilarious thing. I rewound the movie to watch it over and over again, see how they did it. It looked like a dummy first hits the first cut, and then it's him. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
It's
thought
funny, like for me, maybe I don't know. As I aged, I need way more believability for things to be funny, right? And I'll give you like what I thought. The last movie I thought was really, really funny was that the Death at the Funeral, and that was the British version. And because you could kind of actually all of that you could kind of see happening. They did their homework to do the background of, what's his face was stoned on some unknown experimental drug, right? So he would be, this stuff just to me right from the word go, it was ridiculous. Like everyone would have, this would never ever have happened in real life, right? So you have to really
absolutely. How many times in the movie did they say, "I'm going to call the police"? Like it happened 10 times.
Yeah,
and they don't even in the end they don't even get charged with like obstruction of justice or nothing. There's no charges laid against these two guys. They used a dead man for an entire weekend and as a puppet to use his house and have parties. Well, and no charges laid. I mean, it's just so far fetched. It's
got such a weak story. Basically, we know that Bernie is like trying to off the two guys because they're on to him about his insurance fraud, right?
Yes.
And then there's a hitman, and the hitman fails time and time again. In his mind, he doesn't even know it worked.
He succeeded, yeah.
So, what do you think was in that vial? What do you think he injected him with? Like heroin? Because
he probably OD'd him on heroin.
Probably, yeah, something.
Because he's flexible. He doesn't show.
I know. No rigor comes. No rigor. Not at all. No.
He starts to stink after a while because they're spraying. But he's throughout the movie, the poor Bernie, he's like put through water skiing, all sorts of like just banged around, and
if you could call that water skiing, what that looked like to me is people dragging a corpse behind a friggin' boat.
Yeah.
But with all those, we can all admit all those people, and they're like this movie's like 99% white people. And like, and they're all like douchey and assholes.
Yeah.
And they're all like waving at Bernie. Hey, he's such a cool guy. This corpse being dragged around the whole movie. It's like, oh, he's so cool. And they're like, I find that funny. I just thought.
Okay.
There's an argument to be made that there's no redeeming people in this movie. They're all assholes. Larry, Larry's a jerk. Richard's a compulsive liar to his love interest. I suppose Gwen might be a decent person, maybe a little too gullible.
Yeah.
But is there anybody you guys really liked in this movie?
No, I didn't like anybody.
No, I didn't care. I did not look to this movie for moral compass. It was
but let's take this movie and the era it was in, okay, and let's stack it against comparable movies. And so let's take, to me, this, I still would say a bad movie for its time, because if I stack it against a movie like Ruthless People, which is very around the same time. In fact, I think Ruthless People is a little older.
Yeah.
Ruthless People was, once again, why I thought it was way funnier is because it was more believable. I mean, yeah, they pushed it at times. I mean, you know, I can't remember that guy that was with us. There were some ridiculous moments, but there were moments. This movie was entirely ridiculous. Like, there was just one moment of ridiculousness to the next. Nothing realistic, nothing based in reality. It was just, I mean, flat out stupidity. Now,
couldn't you embrace it?
I'd love it, you know.
But couldn't you embrace it on that level? It's cartoonish, even. It's like a cartoon. See,
when I used to smoke weed, I didn't. I could, when I wasn't stoned, I could think like if I was stoned. But because I haven't smoked weed now for like 3 decades, I can't think like that anymore. So, you know, I can't, right. You know, I need to smoke more weed.
Came out. It's been a 30-year gap.
Yeah.
When this thing came out, though, I think there was a certain I've never seen this before kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes,
and
a shock value. Yeah,
it had some shock value and an original idea. But I mean, I'm sure Shakespeare's written a play about some corpse being dragged around a town. But but I mean, I hadn't seen anything like it up to that point.
I don't think they thought this was going to be a big hit movie, but it turned out to be a big sensation for the day, so much so that it had a sequel.
It did.
I warned you, John, if you cross me about my movie picks, I'm just being stupid.
I'm warning you guys, revenge picks are a bad road. They're a bad road. You don't want to go down that road.
I've yet to do this, but I don't think I've done that. No, thinking of it.
So, as a fun side note, out of nowhere, the music in the movie is actually produced by or arranged by Andy Summers from the band The Police, the guitar player, which was just bizarre to me. And I thought, oh, it's adequate. I don't know. It just felt like.
Well, the movie opened and closed on a song.
Yeah.
Heat Wave or something like that.
Yeah, a reggae kind of thing. So that's kind of in the ballpark of Andy Summers, and you know.
God, I really wish I could remember the name of that song.
Oh, it was a dumb song. I mean, it's John, I have to say, it's a stupid movie that I don't know. I have a soft spot.
Well, you said it best. It's guilty pleasure, right? And I watched some really crappy shows and movies that just because it's a guilty pleasure. You know, it's something that, you know, you really don't want anyone to know you love watching it. And maybe
honestly, you know, when you picked this, I was like, of course. Why haven't we done this one years ago? It's an obvious choice, and I'm super glad that you picked it, because eventually I would have had to.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I think like I said before, to bring this full circle, every so often you just want to review a movie that really has no consequence or heavy weight to it. It's just dumb. It's just
fair enough. Yeah,
entertainment.
Big stupid fun for sure.
No big.
Okay, so we are primarily critical. What can we really bash with this movie, though? I mean, if we really want to drag it to the mud, or because that's the fun of picking bad movies, right? What
girl do you think Larry ended up with in that room? We didn't see her. We didn't see her. Remember, there was a party, and then
wow. That's a deep dive. I thought, I don't know.
They were at the party. Bernie was getting into trouble, so they threw him over the patio wall. And then he runs off with Gwen, and things start heating up, and and then suddenly Bernie shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And Richard says we need to deal with this, and he runs into the thing and he finds Larry and he raps on the door and he says, "We got to handle Bernie. We got to handle Bernie." But there's a woman in that room.
That's right.
And we don't know.
But they didn't develop enough characters for us to even speculate.
Oh no, nobody gets developed very much. That's a fun point. If anybody could comment, or we could do some research post, which I'm very doubtful we're gonna do.
No.
I'm sure John, once this review's done, he's gonna wipe the stench off of this movie and move on.
You know,
Yeah.
But there's like some fun things in the movie. That kid, that vile kid, he's like he's burying Bernie's body and
yeah.
He's really horrible child.
And I found that funny. And Andrew McCarthy, right? We know him from Less Than Zero, and
yes,
he's Larry, right?
Pink, Pretty in Pink, and
I find his acting with Jonathan Silverman as Richard just silly fun. I alluded to like Laurel and Hardy or slapstick kind of humor, physical humor. Like think of old Odd Couple kind of things. It's just funny to me. I don't know. It's dumb dialogue they have to use and all that, but I don't know. Fun.
Well, there's the scene where he's with Bernie on the stairs, and he grabs Bernie by the hair.
Yeah.
He smashes his head against the thing. And he says, "It's just Bernie." I mean, that line and the way he delivers it is burned in my brain forever. And I think it's been stolen in other movies.
Oh, there's a scene where they discover that he's dead, and you're don't slap our boss. It's like they're throwing down like it's so ridiculous, right? And for maybe 50% of the movie, I could see it being plausible how they hide his corpse or is trying to make it look like. But for the rest of it, like, come on, man, this is just becomes ridiculous to the point of.
Yeah, you're right. There was times where I thought they pulled that off pretty good.
Yeah.
There was the times where they're like making his arm like wave at people like he's like a.
But
it was just for.
Yeah. I mean, right. Every so often,
well, I should just stick. You guys like this movie, so I should just shut up. Just let you guys.
No, I want you to take this thing apart. Give me your word.
Take it apart.
Oh, man, I mean, to me there was really nothing good about this movie. I didn't like. One, these characters are all like we've covered. All of them are idiots. I don't care about the main characters. I don't like both characters. I think they're both assholes. I think they're white privileged jerks. They don't even want to do their job properly, right? And then they're trying to. He's a liar, like you said. He lies to his woman, and then this movie is horribly fake. There's nothing. How do you even buy into this for even a second? Because this guy is clearly dead. I would show up there and go, "Hey, Bernie, all right? Boy, he's not looking so good. Should we phone somebody?" That would be like the first person that came in that knows Bernie. That's exactly what they would have done. But somehow we're supposed to just magically go, "Oh no, this could happen." I can't get my brain around that. That just would never ever happen. This is like in some, a child must have written this that thought this people would be dumb enough to believe this.
John,
okay, John. There's a scene where they bring up the fraud to Bernie in his office.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that paperwork still had tar on it from the previous day. And the tar scene where they were sliding around and they had a little waiting pool. I mean, the little touches, they were so beautiful, John. This had to happen.
I was in it up until Bernie was dead. I thought it was okay but once it was just the fakery of trying to pass Bernie off as a living person that just went over the top, stupid, retarded, ridiculous. This is not ever going to fly, So
I can't disagree, John. It's a really stupid, silly movie, but I just dig it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till one of you guys picks a movie I'm just detest or something. I'm sure
Oh,
I probably, I'm sure I've done that. I
we're back
probably,
there. Yeah, you didn't
But-
like it, for sure.
I like
Let's
it.
not go down this road. My wife's gonna kill me.
Okay, sorry. I didn't want to open that.
No
back.
revenge picks. No revenge picks. We're not going to do
sorry.
this.
Sorry,
we got,
sorry.
Yeah, we got to
But,
pick good movies.
Let's
Sorry.
get into the trivia.
Yeah, maybe we should
All
just exit on.
Sure.
Let's get out of this thing and land the plane here.
All right. So Terry Kaiser, he's the guy that played Bernie.
Yes.
His stunt double suffered a few broken ribs during filming, most in the scene in which Bernie is dragged around on the surface of the ocean, bumping into metal floating obstacles. That was a person.
Wow, they didn't use a dummy for that? Oh my God, the filming crew was as dumb as the movie.
That sounds crazy.
Oh, you poor motherfucker. That is awful.
Oh man, I just gotta once again, Terry Kisser, the actor that had to be a dead guy for like 90% of the movie or whatever it was, so unusual. Like, when in a movie has there ever been an actor that has to portray a dead guy in such a manner? And
Why?
how do you direct a guy like that? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Oscar.
Why?
Should go Oscar.
Why?
Where's his Oscar nomination?
Why do you go in a movie like this? Do you go for the authenticity? Like, no, we need it to be a real person we're towing behind the boat. We got to have some authenticity in this movie. We need a real person behind the boat. Let's drag in this movie?
Well, we want people
That's
to
your
believe
moment
it.
where you need authenticity. You need. So this poor guy
Johnny,
to break ribs.
It brings gravitas to the role.
Jesus.
John, that is on point. You're on point with that.
Ridiculous. This
Ridiculous.
poor guy had
No,
I mean, maybe got a paycheck, so I mean, maybe, but
I think
wow.
what you're saying is no human should have to die for a dead corpse on a movie.
The last movie we covered, they're tying stuff around a fish to make sure they don't put a hook in a fish.
Yeah.
But they don't put a dummy behind a motorboat. They put a real person and bang him into obstacles. What is wrong with Hollywood?
It's all make believe until someone breaks a rib. It's
Wow. Okay.
It's all smoke and mirrors. I'll take the next trivia, I guess.
Sure.
Andrew McCarthy was asked to read the script to think about playing the part of Richard. When he read it, he loved the part of Larry and got that instead. All right.
Oh, well, he's a little privileged at that point, isn't he?
I think he was the biggest name on the movie, and that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I would have rather played Larry, for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, who would care? It's a paying job. It's a fun time, and wherever they shot this nice beach location, and
oh yeah, it would have been great to have been on the crew there. Yeah,
it seemed like a fun time. It's a stupid movie. It's not like they're in the jungle or something in sweating it out.
The director Ted Kotcheff made a cameo as Richard's father, the man who comes out in his underwear and outs Richard for lying.
Oh, no kidding, eh?
He's like, how about I lay you out? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Did you not think? Like, could you?
I thought that was once again, that was still in the movie at that point. Yeah.
Okay. I did not find that funny. I did not find that funny.
I thought
you did not find that funny.
Not even a little bit, because at this point he's trying to get into Gwen's pants by lying, right? And I was actually pretty disgusted by that, and I did not find that scene funny at all.
I didn't expect.
Yeah, but that's what's funny about that is he's busted. That's look at this idiot. He's lying and lying and lying, and you're fucking busted.
Yeah, okay. So his dad outs him.
Yeah.
It's just
what kind of wingman is that?
It's part of the whole ridiculous thing in the movie. Like, a dead guy is made to appear alive. Like, what do you expect? The bar was low for me. I knew what I was getting into here when I watched this movie.
That's it.
I wasn't expecting
that should be the tagline for this movie. Expect less, and you might enjoy this movie.
It's like here. What would you compare this movie to? Like trying to achieve the bar of Rain Man or I don't know what. And here's
God.
or Titanic or Terminator 2. I don't know what to compare it to. It's way down there, man.
This is like Dumb and Dumber, but
there you go. You get
the Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yes.
This is right up there with that.
You're in the ballpark with
John. I think I stepped on your feet. You were supposed to read the next trivia point, and
that's okay. I'll read the last one here. I don't have I have the wrong glasses on, so hopefully I can read this. Richard suggests they go to Jones Beach with all the, can't read it. Gotta get my glasses on. One sec. Okay. There we go. Richard suggests they go to Jones Beach with all the syringes. This is probably referring to the infamous syringe tide in 1987 to 88 when medical waste, including used syringes, washed up on several beaches in New York and New Jersey, costing massive losses in tourist dollars. Oh, Syringe Beach.
Wow. Isn't that
heard of that?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You go to the beach and there's syringes there. That would make me not want to go. One syringe would make me not want to go.
Yeah.
If there's a bunch washing up,
yeah,
I'd wait a decade. I'd be like, we're not going there for the next 10 years, kids.
Oh, well, on the note of the whole location and that is based on reality. That's a hideous sounding. But how did you like the Bernie's house was amazing. And what was fascinating,
but
he never locked it. So people came and went and stole shit from his house.
Because no one locks it. And when we have a house that nice, that you don't need to lock it because it's in an area. No one builds a house that nice in an area where you need to lock the doors. Now, that being said, I didn't think it was that beautiful because there's no trees around. It just looked barren around there.
Well, it's on the beach. It's like, but it seemed like the ultimate party house. It's like, he didn't care who came or went. He just like Bernie was like loved, like he was some kind of worshiped God in that community. All these people just showed up.
Yeah, he was a popular guy. It was a public guy for sure. But that's something that really bothered me, and we don't have a lot of time left, so I'll be trying to be quick. Larry seemed like a good wingman at times. He had the confidence to pursue Gwen, but never did. He offered his apartment to Richard. And on all these things seemed like good things, but then in other situations, he seemed like a complete jackass. And that was... in hindsight, that's troubling.
I
want a good beat on him, but I had trouble doing it.
He wasn't a good guy, really. He was a bit of an ass, for sure. And it makes you wonder, like, how did this get a sequel? People just love this concept of this movie.
I think Steve nailed it when he said it was a very original concept, and people loved the idea. It was funny as fuck at the time that, a dead guy that people, and it just, the idea was so off the wall and so original. Maybe.
Yeah. And on that note, we have less than a minute left. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Weekend at Bernie's. We're primarily critical. You're awesome for joining us. Next week, Monday at noon, to be announced. Watch our Twitter. And we'll let you know.
Peace.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.